there's something about not being able to, just like she said, what do I do? A lot of things.
Yes, yeah.
There's something about not being able to pinpoint one singular thing that almost gives you a little bit of insecurity. It's almost like jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
But I think there's so many women right now that are in that intersection of like maybe even working at a 9 to 5, but then chasing their passion on the side and like never knowing when to make that jump because we cling to security. I was talking to a woman recently and she said, you know, my parents never instilled risk in me.
Ooh. Girl. Literally, I always say that.
Welcome to Dear Young Queen, the podcast.
Cass.
What's up?
You fed?
Listen, I done demolished that tortilla soup.
All right, you ate.
I did.
You got a drink?
I do.
You are always going to make a point you said to feed our guests.
Yes, you know, food is good for the soul. It's a form of intimacy for me. So if the littlest thing I can do, if I can fill your soul up with some food or some nourishment, I love that.
That's also apparently how you lock down a husband, I hear.
Right. Damn, I gotta work on that.
Right? Me too. I'm good. I'm a good orderer though.
Right.
What?
Right.
On demand. I can find the best restaurant to order from. Uber Eats, delivery guys love me. Yeah, it's like a thing. What did you feed her today?
Soup. There's corn, there's beans. And then we dressed it with some tortillas on top, sour cream.
And just
little
a
bit of
dollop
cheese.
of daisy.
Just a dollop.
Oh.
Just a dollop.
Side note,
Great
have you guys
marketing.
seen that commercial, the dollop of daisy?
Do a
Is it-
dollop.
Of course.
Do a dollop of daisy.
It's a jam, right?
Yeah.
But also at the end, she's dipping strawberries in it.
She did.
It's a little uncomfortable for me. Have you guys ever dipped your strawberries in dollops of daisy?
No.
But you can alter the flavor.
What you mean?
So living in Israel, you learn different ways of bringing out, enhancing flavor. So even with the Greek yogurt consistency, you can add like a citrus, you can add like a herb, a dill or something like that, just to elevate it a little bit. So if you want to make it on a sweeter side, then you can add like a cinnamon, some vanilla, some almond or anything like that.
Oh, well, no strawberries in your tortilla soup today.
Yeah. No.
And then
no.
we all made sure.
No, not at all.
And then we all made sure that we got a glass of wine.
Cheers.
What we drinking it? What we drinking at Casa Alexis?
This is rosé from the family brand.
Ooh,
So this is the house wine.
nice.
Wine.
What is it? It's like kosher and all the good things.
It is.
Huh?
It
Tell
is
us
a
about
kosher Pinot Noir grape. And here we are. That you get the rosé by not having a red grape and just juicing it. Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yes. So proud Black kosher winemakers.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
So
Well,
l'chaim.
welcome. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. L'chaim. You gotta have the behind you.
To life.
To life. How come well, we'll get into that. I feel like we don't have a lot of these things like that other cultures have, but we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Lex, you're a good house host.
Thank you so much.
You're also the only person I know that has a name for her house.
Right.
It's a name, it's a hashtag.
Absolutely. And I didn't know the address, and all I had to do was type in Casa Lex to find old messages, and I was like,
Oh, there it is. You want to know something that's interesting is that my current place that I live in now, I moved into with an ex-partner, and then he moved out. And so I have I took ownership of it. You know what I mean? Like I made it my own. I took out the manly stuff and made it feminine.
Did you sage or anything? Like,
Yeah, you know what? I can't lie to you. I think a lot of people are embarrassed to admit this, but like I don't know how to sage. You just light it and move.
Right,
Like you're supposed to say something.
It definitely should be some intention behind it. I think anytime you're burning something, the smoke is clearing away, it's going away, it's burning away, it's, that's what we want. So you take that sage, you light it, say your intention or what you want to remove, and let's go.
Just go.
Yes.
Did you guys also hear though there was like apparently I'm not sure the type of tree it is, but because sage is so hot and popular right now, the actual tree or the plant or whatnot is like starting to become endangered.
Oh no.
Yeah. So all these like trends
I
of
believe
things
it.
that we're
Yeah.
doing, we're like cleaning our household but destroying the planet.
real
Yes.
one, the real one. Because I know that people are burning something that isn't like the traditional one that ever. Yeah, I think there's like a different type, like white sage, and there's different sages.
different
yeah,
ones. There's
yeah,
different ones.
but
There's
it's one of them
Jennifer.
that's endangered. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that your whole
So
the whole
cleanse
energy
away.
here has. I can feel that you have saged your household.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, you do when you transition from relationships and new energies, you do want to clear your space and start new with fresh intentions.
Well, this space feels good, girl. All right, Lex. So you introduced me to Cassidy last year.
Yes.
I'm low-key a Instagram stalker. I stalk her life and everything that she does. But I want you to go ahead and introduce her.
I mean, being here in Miami, Cassidy has just opened up so many windows and opportunities, not just for herself, but sisters and brothers alike. And I've been introduced to so many people because of her and so many different experiences. So I think take it from there.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I'm Cassidy, obviously, and I feel like I wear many hats. It's been difficult whenever people are like, what do you do for a living? I'm always like, where do I start? I do so much. I do brand partnerships. I'm an influencer. I do content creation. And yeah, I'm a director of vibes. I curate vibes.
What? Add that to the card at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Cassidy,
Yes.
director of vibes.
That's me all day.
I would co-sign with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm here. I can't.
Thank you.
Can't wait for you to direct the vibes at my dinner on Sunday. I need some help there.
Girl.
Talk to us a little bit about your background. Are you from Miami?
So I was born in New York,
Okay.
raised in South Florida. I actually have lived in all 3 counties in South Florida, so Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami. From
Not
New
Dade?
York, Miami-Dade.
Oh,
It's
okay. I was gonna
Miami-Dade.
say, I
Or is
always
it
hear
just
like-
Dade County now? I think it's Miami-Dade County.
I don't know.
Is it Miami
Because
Miami?
people are very strong about which county
Right.
too.
No, you have to say it like Miami-Dade.
Ugh.
Miami-Dade
Okay,
County.
okay,
But no,
okay.
I moved, so from New York, we moved to Broward County. So I lived in Broward County for maybe like 9 years. And then I moved to Palm Beach for most of my, adolescent teen years. And then once I graduated high school, I moved to Miami because I went to FIU, Florida International University.
Okay.
Dope.
Go Panthers.
What did you study? What did you study there?
So my degree was in PR, public relations. As you can see, I do not do that anymore. But I mean, everything that I do is pretty similar. I feel like I learned a lot in college. And, people are always like, your degree was useless, et cetera, et cetera. Like, no, I learned so much in college. And I love to tell people that, like, maybe not in my classes, but as far as like experiences, learning how to work with different people with different backgrounds, different personalities, like college, I don't know if I know how to do that without college, honestly.
Yeah, it's the communication part of it. It's the connecting the dots part that you are still doing actively.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fucking fire.
Good for you.
Born in New York, raised in Miami. Talk to us a bit about your background.
I feel like and I don't even want to say conservative. I feel like just traditional Jamaican family. Although I was raised here, they thought it was really important to make sure that I knew my culture.
Oof.
Like, I think my first trip to Jamaica was when I was not even 1 year old, maybe like 10 months, 11 months.
Not the annoying baby on the plane. That
I
was
was
you crying.
100%. And it's crazy. I
That's
always ask my
hilarious.
parents this. I literally, because I'm that person that's like, why did you bring this baby? Knowing damn well.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And I'm the opposite. I'm like, let me help you out. I
You
got some
get it,
tips for
right.
you. Like,
She's
you
the one
get
with the
it
4
out.
kids.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder you can't get a first class seat. Alexis took all of them, her whole tribe of family. Her 4 kids, her mom. There's only 1 seat left. Damn. On the wrong plane, that's the whole first class.
Yeah.
But you know what? Lately, I've kicked them out because one, they don't drink liquor. So
Oh,
what's
what's
your
the
point?
point?
They do need the extra leg room because
Right,
3 of
tall.
them have got me now with height. But
my
at the
gosh.
same time, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
So as long as one of us are in first class, then they can get on first.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always asked my parents, was I like a calm baby? And they always say that I was like pretty calm. Like I never really. So yeah, I don't know if I was that baby on that trip to Jamaica, but yeah, I literally, they made sure I was in Jamaica every single year. And it's crazy. Right now, this is probably the longest time I've been away from Jamaica. I haven't been since before the pandemic.
Wow.
This is the longest in my life. In my 28 years of living, this is the longest I've been away from
Do
Jamaica.
you feel a little homesick?
100%. 100%.
Do you have a lot of family there still?
I
Or
do.
kind of most of your
More-
family's here?
Most of my family, like immediate family, is here.
Yep.
But I have like a lot of distant family. But like my grandparents live in
They're still
Jamaica.
there.
Yeah.
What part of Jamaica?
Yeah. They live close to Ocho, so like a little bit east of in St. Mary though. So yeah.
I've only been to I hate to say it, I wish I could visit more places. Montego Bay and
Oh,
Grill,
love it.
which I feel like
Love
are
it.
very vacation.
But it's still a vibe. It's
okay.
still a vibe.
Okay.
It's
I
not-
love
it's nothing
Mobe,
like
like-
that good fresh fish.
Oh yeah.
And then they drop it in the oil, and then you're ready to.
She's still cooking, man.
Right, right.
Sorry, I had a flashback.
She
Right.
Had a
always
flashback.
traveling and eating.
Right.
That's super dope. Your parents moved to New York. What made them come down to Miami?
I feel like they just wanted to be closer to Jamaica. I mean, in Jamaica at the time that they moved, it was a really bad time in Jamaica, and a very large population moved to either New York or South Florida or Canada because there was some type of like political strife at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they moved to New York, and then, they lived their own separate lives for a while, and then they reconnected. I don't even know what year, but I think they were my age, 28.
Okay.
They reconnected and they dated, and history, the rest is history.
And then I wrote down.
Yeah.
You what kind of were your parents working, career people, blue collar? Talk to us about your mom and your dad.
Well, my dad was in the car industry, and he still is. He worked at Ford, I think, originally in Long Island. And then my mom, it's crazy, she started off as a runner on Wall Street at the New York Stock Exchange. And she worked her way up to becoming the first Black female specialist trader in stock exchange history. So,
Go on.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she killed it. She killed it. Yeah. Big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. So I know I had to do something. I didn't know if it was finance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
That's
also
beautiful.
to me that sounds like pressure.
Yeah, girl.
It is.
Girl,
yes.
I still feel it. I'm in this kind of limbo now where you left that corporate life, or not really, working at a record label, which I just recently stopped doing. It's not technically corporate. It's a fun job. It is very much still a corporate structure.
Yep.
So now that I'm not doing that, it's like, oof. I feel like she was really feeling that, like I can tell my friends that my daughter was working at Def Jam and this and that. But, having that structure, I feel like made her really proud. But now I'm feeling the pressure yet again.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm the same way. My background is also in the music business. I went to college to study music business. Like my mother paid $200,000 for me to go to NYU and not get a communications degree or something that was just to specialize in the music industry. And I had that same sense of pride, right? Having my office in Madison Avenue with Atlantic Records. And she was able to brag on me and share projects she was working on. And then when I made the decision to like step out on my own, it was kind of like, as excited as I was, I felt an extreme disappointment that I didn't want to disappoint my mother because I knew that she understood that job. She understood a paycheck that came every 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, that part. That part.
She understood full benefits.
Yes.
That part.
She understood
Every
those-
day.
3 months.
after 3 months benefits kick.
Yeah.
Our parents, I feel like our mothers especially, might also have a very hardworking mother that worked her way up a ladder. Is they understand that more than they understand what we're doing now.
Of course.
So that's as dope as it is. It sounds like pressure to have parents that work their behinds off to afford you a decent life.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There's not that pressure isn't spoken about enough.
But don't you feel like they did accomplish, they did push us and got us to those seats and motivated us to the point where we're like, okay, we're independent women to where we can reflect on that. Thank you so much for showing us. But now we're going to rework it. We're going to tweak it a little bit. We're going to add our little flair to it. And that comes from our parents.
Yeah.
It does. It does. But there's something about not being able to, just like she said, what do I do? A lot of things.
Yes. Yeah.
There's something about not being able to pinpoint one singular thing that almost gives you a little bit of insecurity. It's almost like jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
But I think there's so many women right now that are in that intersection of like maybe even working at a 9 to 5, but then chasing their passion on the side and like never knowing when to make that jump because we cling to security. I was talking to a woman recently and she said, my parents never instilled risk in me.
Ooh.
Girl. Literally, I always say that. I feel like every single day, if I say like, I want to do something, or, I talk to this person, they're saying you should do this. And, the first thing I want to do is call my parents like, oh my God, like, I just like, I found this like thing, like this might be the next thing. Like, I think I want to get involved. And, as much as they do this, I still want to bring it to them. Like, because, you know, my parents are like my best friends. I love to tell them things. But their first instinct is always to like, tell me about like what could go wrong. And I'm like, okay, listen.
They go right to the negative.
Like, and it sucks because I don't want to tell them like, you know, you did it wrong. It's like, you didn't do it wrong. You did the best with what you knew. But you guys did not take any risk. And this is why, like, you gave me the best life. But the things that you guys are used to and the things that you guys love and the things that you guys aspire to be, there are certain things that you guys didn't get to do. And it's because you didn't take the risk. And every single day of my life, I give them examples of a person who took risks and look what happened.
Yes.
Like, look at the best thing that happened to them. And I'm like, I need to start taking risks. I say this every single day. So it's crazy that you say that.
No, but I'm met with the exact same thing. Every time I call my mom and I'm like, I wasn't looking for instruction. I just wanted to share.
Exactly.
You know, like I just needed a little bit of extra support to push me over to do that, to take that risk, to take the next step. And it's interesting because someone explained it to me, is that they still feel very responsible for the decisions that we make. And they know that if it goes wrong, they are still gonna have to be there for us. So as much as we want them to just believe in us and kind of trust us to take these risks, we have to actually understand that double questioning, that running that risk by those, the alternative side of what could go wrong by us is really just them also equipping themselves. It's not even really necessarily directed at us. It could go wrong. It's them talking themselves through it.
And we're teaching them. I feel like I'm always teaching my mother like the new way of doing things. This is the new vibe. This is a new way that we can shortcut, you know? You know what I mean? Like, even though the tradition is still there and the roots are still there, we know how to be more innovative and do a little shortcut. So I think we're teaching them.
And Lex, there's an age difference even between us and Cass.
Yes.
Cassidy is doing things that we think like, oh, I can't believe she took a risk and did that, right? And we're talking about a decade or so in between us, you know?
That's it. I'm loving the energy that these younger women are bringing us. I love it. It's the extra confidence, that boost. You all are like teaching us to be like, you know, even more independent. Talk about it, speak about it, talk that shit, you know, and be like, bye, I'm out of here, you know. I feel like a little,
understanding when to say bye.
They're like, I'm not taking this.
But at what point do you like realize that like, is that even a good thing? Because I am so quick to say bye. When as the moment I feel like something isn't serving me anymore, I'm like, because my logic is not exactly what's next. It's just like this is wasting my time and I only have a certain amount of time on this earth. And not even just as a woman, like, you know, with personal goals, it's like, I want to get married. And it's like the certain type of guy that you want to be with. It's like, you kind of have a window. People like to say, you know, there's no age limit, but it's like for men, I feel like it's so difficult for a woman to get a certain type of man after a certain type of age if you've never been there. It's one thing if you've been married before, you have kids, or, you know, you did the thing already. It's like, I have none of that yet. And I feel like it's harder.
It's interesting. I just in November did a Friendsgiving series and I partnered with a younger women's professional group called Fortune and Forks. And I wanted to partner with them because I felt like a lot of these Friendsgiving dinners were all like women my same age. A lot of us had similar experiences and lifestyles. And I don't know how I could have a brand called Dear Young Queen and actually not connect with the young queens, because I felt like that was what I was missing. And that very topic came up at one of the dinners about your generation of, and I say your generations, I'm going to call them 20-somethings. I don't actually know if that's like a completely different generation. So let's just call them 20-somethings and 30-somethings, right? That the 20-somethings are like really quick to leave. They know when to say no. You guys have established boundaries. And then there were some older women who were like, as much as we admire it and think it's dope, you guys are also missing like dedication to things, right? Relationships in order to get married. You can't leave in the first. You can't leave, right? You're gonna have to show up and fight. You're gonna have to show up and, you know, I look at friends that stayed in workplaces who are now general managers of the record labels and the heads of, I like to always use heads of departments, heads of whatever, heads of. And it's because there was a certain piece of our generation that was like, you started as an intern, you move to an assistant, you take the job, you wait your turn, you work up the ladder. I feel like the 20-somethings, you guys are like, no promotion in 6 to 9 months, sorry, gotta go.
Yes.
And it's like, yes, I wish I actually would have left some places that I stayed too long.
Ooh.
But also, can you ever get to that next step in your journey if you're so quick to check out? Yeah. I don't know how to answer how to walk that line, but I think it's something that at least women are starting to slowly become aware of.
I think so. Yeah. I agree with that.
Now, when it comes to dating, though, I'm just going to tell you, listen. Yes, there's a window, and I think that their window exists. But I think that once you cut out of that window, what you're looking for and what you desire changes anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's really not a missed opportunity. Okay. And also, girl, what I'm learning, the younger ones, ooh, they like them an older girl, sis.
Yeah.
You gonna mess around and lose one to a 30, 40 something, okay?
Crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So
it's
windows,
crazy.
I mean, we have like the physical windows.
Right.
But I want you to know that window that they sold us as like, oh, while you young and hot, get them while you young and hot, get them while you young and hot. Listen, you know your body better when you're older. Right. You know what to do with it when you're older. Also, you know how to, go ahead.
Right. But also like people, and listen, yeah, I am a 20-something, but I'm at the top of the 20-somethings. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but we like low-key look younger than the younger.
What?
There's like that trend on TikTok where they're like showing, they put their name, they put their age, or no, the year that they were born. I'm 2002. What do you mean you were born in 2002? You look I'm sorry, like no exaggeration, 40 years old. I don't know if it's the makeup, and it's not like they're aging. It's just the look. It's the look. It's the fillers. It's the makeup. It's the plastic surgery. Which I'm all for making tweaks, but it's gotten really extreme.
It really has. One of my favorite memes that I see is like, oh my God, I have to show it to you. Actually, we can put it in here, hopefully. Is like me and my friends at 13. And it's like, Mom, come watch this dance performance. And it's like dancing to Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's like, girls now at 13. It's like, I feel like fun.
Yeah. Brother,
like we were like 5, 6, 7,
we were
8.
boom cat,
One,
boom cat.
and 2.
In the baggy clothes.
Okay, now put your hands in the middle and shake.
We were very stiff. We were very much more traditional, very much more conservative.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah. So it's all very interesting. And sorry to digress into all of those different conversations, but it's just so true. It's just so true. Okay, but we were talking about your mom, actually, and the pressure of her own success as a woman that she created and what it put on you. Yeah. And so now, as you have your hands and so many hats on, do you feel like now, though, that you've been having these conversations, she can sit at the table and share what Cass does?
Yeah, she just doesn't use the right terms. Like everything to my parents, and especially my mom, is promotion. I'm like, why is that the word that older generations, everything is promotion, like not influencing, not marketing, like everything is promotion. They're like, she does promotions.
You're like, Mom, I don't hand out flyers and put them on the cars outside of clubs.
Promotions for big brands. I'm like, okay. I mean, essentially, yes, but like not exactly.
You want a more technical term like marketing.
Right. And I tried, but now my mom's on TikTok and she sends me reels. First of all, I didn't even know she knew how to send things. So I think now that she's, in the know, she's like learning different terms. And she is able to discuss.
They definitely want to be in, they want to have their foot in with everything going on.
I'm not mad at it.
Everything.
I want you to pull out your phone. I'm going to pull up the last reel my mom sent me because she's the same. I want you to pull up the last reel your mom sent you. Ready? Mine came 34 minutes ago.
Let me show. Well, I'm going to tell you, my mom sends me back to 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 back. Ding, ding,
Bro,
ding.
she always sends me, it's always
and
animals.
she's like, I thought this was so funny. I'm like, I'm like, Mom, I'm going to block you.
Literally what I was just thinking.
It's
Let me see.
Always animals, something Jamaican, or Kardashian kids. What? Like, why am I seeing a picture of Stormy?
Ours is usually food,
so cute.
recipes.
So cute. Okay, let's see.
Mine is this guy doing a backflip. Like, what is this? Look,
wrestler going
but the wave, the ocean.
Yeah. Cause a tsunami. Please show her.
Look. See all of that? Mom sent me that. She must have cracked up for 10 minutes on that.
Oh, look. Why would she send me a cat?
Not the cat.
A cat rocking a child to sleep.
Because they were tickled by it and they were just like,
It's
y'all
so
gonna have the
cute.
same reaction we did.
But she sent this.
If my mama tagged me in one more story on Facebook,
Oh, please send that to
she's
me.
telling me the news like I ain't seen the same news that you done tagging in. Mama,
Bro. That's
other than knitting and sewing, we got to get our parents off of social media.
What happened in knitting and sewing, right? Like, I understand.
Bro. And then my mom sends me like Jamaican comedic skits, and I'm like, this is hilarious. Also, why? Like, when
But
did
you
you?
can relate, huh?
Yeah, it's just so funny though.
Yeah.
It's funny that she sees, and it's crazy
Yeah.
how the algorithm works. Like, this is someone who's not really like that active. Like, how do you know to target her with Jamaican things?
Well, because she keeps sending them to you. The way her
how
algorithm
does
is
she
set up, it's her
find it?
favorite
It's
thing
the
to send.
algorithm.
But how did she find it in the first
so
place? Like,
hilarious.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
They be listening.
But they
I
definitely
The
think
phones
so.
be listening.
They
I don't know.
definitely do. But that's what it is. It's like they don't understand. And then when they try to understand, we chastise them for it.
Yeah.
And so it's so, to me, it's just so interesting. Like, they can't win for losing.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's dope that so many women now are starting to share that experience
Yeah.
as we're trying to step out on our own and all that. Right now, what are you most excited about that you're working on?
I have a partnership with Appleton Rum.
Dope.
And it's like, it's so dear to me. Right. It's just so dear to me because it's a brand that I like literally grew up on. Like I don't want people to be like, well, damn, you grew up on rum, but no.
Yeah.
As a Jamaican, it's like, when you grow up, like your parents will be like, dip your finger in, like it's like a thing. Like you dip your finger, you taste it. And I used to be like, ew, like I thought I would never like rum in my entire life. But you cook with it. My parents would always make rum cake. My grandparents, both sides, literally rum cake. Different types. There's the white rum cake and then the black rum cake. Black rum cake is like fire. Have you ever had that? Like the really dark one?
I don't think so, but I would love
It's so
to make it. Let's
I
go.
got you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
It's
please
Christmas
bring
cake
us
they call
some.
it. It's mostly Christmas time that you make it. And then what else? Bread pudding.
Oh, I
love
love a
a
good
good
bread
Appleton
pudding.
rum and a bread pudding. Like,
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So I literally grew up on this brand, and when they reach out to me, I'm like,
Done.
what? I can't wait to call my parents. And tell them this. It's like they were just like, what do you mean Appleton rum? My parents literally didn't understand what that meant. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean they want to work with you? Like,
Yeah.
yes, they want to work with you, mom.
I was gonna say that. How do they feel, with that kind of branding behind their daughter now?
I think they were really proud, and I feel like that was the first time that I'm like, wow, like I'm really doing something that they can, they understand. This is a brand that they get, like I can tell them I worked with Patron and like all these other brands, which is dope. These are brands that they see on the shelves at the store, but something that like, they grew up on as well.
Yes.
That's the first time I was like, wow, like they're really, really proud of me. So
I love that. All right, so we know a little bit about Mama. We know a little bit about your background.
yes.
I want to know a little bit about your dating life.
Woo.
Here, so you don't have to say everything. Let me prompt you with a question.
Uh-oh.
Here at Dear Young Queen, the podcast, we like to talk about firsts.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. So I want to know about the first time you ever brought a man home to mom.
So I don't know. Okay. Can I reframe this? Maybe the first time in my adult life?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's so different. Like when I was
Absolutely.
younger, bringing somebody home, it's like they had to know who they were. They had to know their mom, get their phone numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, and my mom, she ended up teaching at my high school. So she knew pretty much everybody. It wasn't really like a monumental, like she knew him. Like, you know what I mean? So
First
I
of
feel
all,
like-
boys were coming home in high school?
yeah, but not like coming home at like night, like just, like if I had like a gathering, like a
that.
birthday party or something, like they would come and like, nothing
No,
crazy.
no.
Like
I have a
no closed doors, nothing like that.
That's definitely trickled to my household.
Yeah.
We're not closing any doors.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, that was never a thing.
Not at Casa Luz.
That was never a thing.
Yeah.
And it's weird because as an adult, the first person that I brought home, and it was fairly recent, honestly, maybe like 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was, what was that? I was probably 22 or 23 at the time. And which is kind of late now that I think about it. Like, damn, like it took me that long. But yeah, brought him home. And
He had to
I had
be
been,
right.
yeah, I had been talking about him for a while, and like they had met on FaceTime and stuff. But when I first brought him home, it was actually my mom's birthday.
Okay.
So he had an opportunity to make a great impression, which he did. He took my parents to eat, like he did the whole thing. And like I was actually concerned about how they would feel about him because he was like really tall and like he had like tattoos everywhere and like he just was just not somebody that I thought that my parents would ever like, approve of. But, he did well for himself, like financially. So like, that's one thing that they don't have to worry about, and then he was really nice to them, but it concerned him that, he had been married before, he had children, like, and I was so young and they're just like, but they were so nice. Like they were nicer than I thought, especially my dad. I was like, my dad was really nice. Like, okay.
What kind of man do you think that they saw you with? He wasn't tall. He wasn't tatted.
Right.
That's what
maybe not. I mean, tall, but like he was like 6'9". Like that's like extra tall. I feel like they probably expected, or at least when I was younger, they probably expected me with like a lawyer doctor vibes, like
straight
lawyer doctor. That's it.
Yeah.
Or just somebody who did well for themselves, but was like educated and did the whole thing. Yeah. But I don't think that they expected. That's what I ended up bringing home.
Where did y'all go to dinner, or where did you go to eat?
So we went to Ruth's Chris.
Okay.
I'm not like the biggest fan. It's like, they have their things, the chicken and it's
I just was trying to picture the ambiance.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to know, like, was it loud? Was there music? Were there people there? Like, no, he had to sit down and talk.
Yeah, he had to sit down and talk.
That is an intimate spot.
Yeah. I'll never forget it. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. And it was up in Palm Beach because my parents live in Palm Beach County. And it was like a super nice in there. And it was a little early because old people, they don't like to be out late at night. I would have been
I'm not driving late at night.
Right. I would have been like, let's go at like 9. Like they were like, no, 6:30. It was like still bright outside. I was like, okay. So it was pretty intimate in there. And they had great conversation. Like it was great. Yeah. And then like, he obviously took care of everything. I think he had given her flowers. So it was like super nice. And then we all went home and it was so bizarre enough. I told you I wasn't allowed to close doors growing up. Yeah. Why? We fell asleep on the couch watching TV because I'm like, where do I sleep? Where does he sleep? Do I go up in my room and he goes in the guest room? Like, because we're adults now. Like,
yes.
Why my mom come downstairs like, why didn't you guys sleep in the guest room? I said, like, I'm supposed to know that that's okay. Wow. And also that makes me feel comfortable. I'm good. Like, no. Yeah. So we had ended up falling asleep on the couch. She's like, oh my God, he must have been so uncomfortable. Like, cause he's tall. I'm like, listen, Mom, you should have said something. I wouldn't have minded, but like, it would have been weird, but yeah.
But it's because you waited until she felt like you were old enough. You were were you out of college at that point?
I was in my last year, I believe. Yeah.
She knew that y'all was sleeping together somewhere.
She knew. Right. You know what I mean?
She was like, don't be here. Since we're comfortable now, we met him. And they in our house.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like, do you remember the first time your parents met your ex-husband?
Let me go back.
We could call Mom if you don't remember. Right. I'm sure she remember.
I wonder when was the first time we met? They met him.
Ma, you remember?
Oh,
that's right. Very good.
Okay. Always count
Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving. That's right. Okay. So we were in Phoenix and my family lived in Phoenix, and where I get the trickle of giving food out and cooking, both of my parents cooked. Therefore, we had the spread. Yeah. And he came along with his roommate at the time, and we had the whole spread. And I guess that was the way of like, come on over, get a plate or 2 or 3 and hang out and relax. And to have that home setting, I think that just made him comfortable as well as my parents, because it's like, we're coming into your home. We want to feed you. And that's how we broke bread.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
I
forgot.
Mom
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know it's been a minute ago, so
yeah, it's
gonna make you go in your memory. Do you remember having any nerves or anxiety or anything about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just because it was like, I knew this person and I spent so much time with them. And for me to spend that much time with them, like, they needed to understand why all this time was with this one person. Maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years later, I had their first grandchild. Yeah. So like, it moved quickly and swiftly. So I had to introduce them to see like who I am now as Alexis and not their little girl anymore. Also, like, I was in a serious relationship as an adult in a way.
And it's interesting because the one thing that you didn't have at that time, and I didn't have either, that she had was like the ability for your parents to meet them on FaceTime before.
Oh,
so like you could test the energy energy
There
a
was
little bit.
no iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, you could be on your phone and be like, who you with? You'd be like, oh, I'm just with John. You
Yeah.
know, like we didn't have
Yes.
that.
I definitely had the sidekick. So you had the little,
my
the
gosh,
that was it. That's all you
Yeah,
had.
you could send a picture or whatever,
and the
and they could
pictures
see
were
what he looked
grainy.
like.
Before nights and weekends, by the way.
Yeah,
You had-
yeah,
Only
right.
nights and weekends. I'm
Before
sorry.
9
Yeah,
Oh
before
my
9 and
gosh.
the rates changed, right? Yeah, that's always an interesting combo. My parents were very like no dating before the age of 16, no hanging out with boys before a certain like so I never brought anybody home, definitely in high school.
Well, because they equate relationships with sex.
Man,
And then sex equals a baby. And then
that fast. And they think it happens that fast.
And their plan for you is now, forget it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't work all these years for you to come in here with this man and have sex and have a baby.
Exactly.
Whoa,
Exactly.
you got
Exactly.
more things to do, lady.
Right.
So I did it. And again, going back to that fear of disappointing our parents, I always felt like I wanted to bring the person that was going to be at home. I never wanted to circle. And by the way, my mother would never allow me to treat her home like a revolving door.
Well,
bringing all different types of men through here. So I
that's-
knew that
that's
it
real.
It's true.
But why do these men's mom be letting them do that? Okay,
Ooh!
I'm sorry. Okay. Because I'm just trying to figure that part out. Like,
I think about that because I don't know. My oldest has brought home. She has a boyfriend, so that's new for me.
What?
Yeah.
okay.
What do you mean brought him home? Like, what was the
mean-
setup? So, all right, she went to
You know what
Ruth
I'm saying?
Chris.
So, like-
You had Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I remember I was in college. He came home with me for
This
a
is
holiday
high
break.
school. This is high school now, so it's
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
hanging out. They were friends.
Okay.
So it was definitely group settings.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being 6 and then to 2. So I'm like, usually
It
it was
surely
6
got
of y'all that
small.
would come over to the house and swim and go to the beach or whatever. But now it's just him. So what we doing over here? And then,
so
but he's a
funny.
good guy. He's
Yeah.
nice. He's sweet. But at the same time, there's no closed doors. That trickled from tradition from my
Yeah.
parents because I don't play that.
Yeah.
The spending the night, that's another thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You
That is
know,
not-
but there,
You got to get in college where you have your own place and
Yeah,
your own doors
yeah,
and your
yeah.
own whatever before
Exactly.
we play and
Right.
spend the night.
but it's respectful.
Yeah.
And I'm learning. I'm setting that foundation of the not rotating and all of that because in hindsight, because now that I'm dating, I'm very cautious of who I'm going to be introducing my kids to. So you know what I mean? Like if we're doing that,
We had the most interesting conversation. We were talking about this earlier.
That's
and
wild.
Alexis said, it's so funny how I'm on the other side of life now.
yeah.
It went
Yeah.
from introducing men to my parents to introducing men to my children.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And damn, you don't really think about how that happens.
Yeah.
Can happen to women in their lives as you separate or split from partners once you've had children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
that
have
might
to
be
be
more
super
pressure
cautious.
than bringing them
You
home
do.
to meet your parents.
You do.
Yeah.
It's super cautious. Just because again, my home is a sacred space, and I've created that for my kids too. This is their safe space. They can talk to me about anything, and their friends are very open as well. I have to be very protective of whoever I'm going to be spending my time with away from them, and then eventually to introduce them because now consciously I'm thinking of somebody who will be stepping in as a stepfather. They have a father.
That's a strong
So
word.
now, yes,
That's a strong
That's
word.
yes,
strong word, yeah.
so if that's my intent in dating, because am I even at that space yet? Am I thinking about am I dating for intentionally eventually having this be a partner, or am I just dating for fun? So I'm not gonna be revolving guys around here either because I learned that from my mother. So we're not playing that.
Yeah.
I have to be very cautious too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So right now, what would you, if I had to ask you your relationship status, I'm gonna give you 4 choices, a little circle. Okay, are you single as a dollar bill? It's complicated. In a relationship, or trending towards a ring?
Trending towards a
Ooh.
ring.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me
Okay, let me
scratch
sit
your
up for
head.
this
No.
one.
No,
I
I
don't
would
know.
say that I'm in a relationship, but I feel like if I'm gonna say I'm in a relationship, I'm trending towards a ring because what's the point if if I'm going to be in a relationship, it's because I think this is somebody that I would marry.
Remember that series I was just telling you about in November that I did for Dear Young Queen, the Friendsgiving? I always thought that was the case too. Like if you're in a relationship, you're likely want to get married. And there were a couple girls and they're 20-somethings, none of the 30-somethings or 40-somethings, but then 20-somethings that were like, I don't know if I'm trending towards a ring, but I'm very happy. And I was like, wait, what? And
Meaning like they didn't want to shut it down?
They weren't, they just were actually a very much more invested in connecting with someone like spiritually and emotionally, whatever. And that the ring actually didn't solidify a relationship for them or what their relationship goals
that's that
were.
new.
I agree.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that's the new, it's a
that's
new.
the younger 20-something thing. Because I'm just like, or also maybe it's just I have a different perspective because my parents are still together. They've been together my entire, like I don't know anything else.
That's
but
beautiful.
See two people in love and, you know, obviously they've gone through things, but it's like, all I know is date, marry, kids. Like that's all I've ever really wanted for myself.
Yeah.
So it might be that, but I definitely think it's like a younger 20-something and younger thing.
Do you feel like that is something of like Jamaican or Caribbean culture is like really finding your mate early on and locking in?
I think traditionally, yes.
Okay.
Like it's supposed to be that way by Jamaican culture standards, but I mean, Jamaican people are also known for, Jamaican men are also known for having like kids outside of wedlock.
Not a
It's
gallus.
definitely
heard
a
that.
stereotype. It's a right.
Yeah.
A gallus, like it's a stereotype that Jamaican men are like all over the place. So I mean, it's supposed to be a certain way. So now everybody's looking at me like
pressure or no?
Definitely, 100%. Because every time I get on the phone with my grandma, it's, did you find a nice young fellow? I'm like,
You're like every single time.
did you find a nice young fellow? I'm like, grandma, please.
Like not this time.
My
and I'm just like, and it's crazy. And I don't think I've actually, I haven't really spoken to her since I like solidified things with my current partner. So I should probably tell her I'm about to call somebody.
Call her right
like,
now.
wait a minute.
And my grandmother, the same thing for the first time this year at Christmas. She hit me with the, you're not going to be young forever, Ashley.
She hit you with that.
My parents were married for almost a decade before they had me. So they traveled the world together.
Wow.
They got to really enjoy being married and being in a relationship before I came in and stirred shit up, right? It got complicated right after me, right? But my mom says that she has so many memories of his mother doing the same thing to her.
Wow.
Like now because imagine being married for a decade and you keep going to your husband's mom and she's like, well, are you ever going to give me any grandkids? So my grandmother said to my mom one time, she said, well, do y'all know how to make babies?
I'm sorry.
And my mom said,
Well,
well, the fact that I don't have any shows you that we really know how babies are made. This is a choice.
I'm crying.
So when she did it to me now, no BS, at 34 years old, which is a year after my mom did it, I was like, well, grandma's still on the same shit. But also, I just really realized like, oh shit, they were waiting on her and I didn't pass her. And originally it wasn't a concern of mine, but now it's like, my grandmother can't quite wait. Like, she's in her 80s. Her looking for something is actually, and it started to put the pressure on me on something I thought would be as easily dismissible as my mom dismissed it. I actually wasn't able to dismiss it, that it weighed on me. And then the thoughts and feelings that started were kind of like, and I see it with Alexis all the time, is that why I want to have kids soon and why I have the pressure is that I desire to know that feeling that everybody says, once you have a child, you appreciate your parents and your mother on another deeper level. I'm so anxious to experience that experience with my mother and my grandmother.
That maternal instinct, that maternal strength.
To just take another level of understanding of everything they did to get me to where I am, to understand like that annoying, why don't take a risk on me? Why you don't believe in me? Why you don't? It's like you'll understand why, because and I want that connection. Do you feel like that's true, Lex? Like once you had children, you had a deeper understanding of your mother's love and what that was?
Absolutely. Our wisdom and the way that we move, especially being a female, coming from our mother, we see how they have molded and shaped us into the morals have trickled. And basically now that I'm raising girls, I have to teach them to carry themselves a certain kind of way. And even my boys, I didn't grow up with boys. So like I'm learning to even rear my boys a certain way, discipline. And I try to be very fair. You know, I don't treat the boys different than the girls. And, you know, everyone gets that same kind of love and that attention.
Was there a deeper understanding or desire or wanting to get closer to your mother, or maybe even like wanting to apologize for some of the way that you treated her? Like, was there any of that? Like, you and your mom are close, so I'm not sure if that your relationship was always like that, or if that was something that was able to get closer once you had children.
I feel like she's watching me do it differently than she did.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm teaching her in a way, because like there was some times where I was just keeping it moving, having this household, and basically, you know, when we lived overseas and how I was just like translating and making a home with my babies, it turned into the fact that she basically was learning from me. And I was like, you know, holding so much anxiety and heartache and going through certain things that were in my marriage that I was moving around and just like kept the family afloat, and she didn't even know. Yeah. So she was like, I see a different strength in you.
Yeah.
Like, so you're inspiring me. Like, you know, you still have this different kind of energy that I didn't have. So I feel like, but I'm like, that is the energy that I saw from you. My mother was an entrepreneur. She led a interior design firm in Kansas City, Missouri. Wow. So I grew up seeing entrepreneurship from a minority ran business. Yeah. And so, you know, that's trickling through me. Yeah. You know? Also. Yeah.
That explains a lot. With the interior, I'm like, damn, like, how did y'all think of this? Like, to put those things together to look so good. This is making sense.
Look at how that trickled, that artistic
this is making sense. And but the outfit, it's definitely.
It's all coming together, right?
It's definitely.
So your family is Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. What parts of
Missouri.
all not the other side, Kansas City,
Kansas City, Missouri, and St. Louis, Missouri. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And then my mother's family is born and raised in St. Louis. Most of everybody is still there also, Missouri.
Wow.
And go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Okay. No, go Rams.
When they were in St. Louis.
That's what I said. When they were in St. Louis.
But I was a fan of the
What do you mean?
You
talking about Marshall Falk? Like there was a time when the Rams was on and popping.
Torrey Hall.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, sis. Yeah, so shout out Rams, St. Louis Rams.
We do love sports.
They didn't change the colors. They kept the color. Like they upped them.
They definitely upped them because they were
blue and gold, but they made them like
navy.
Yeah. They just tried to make it West Coast. But it's funny that I say because like we're two Midwestern girls. You know, you're in Miami now. I'm in New York. Whenever I meet somebody from the Midwest, I'm like, oh my God. But then when I think about you, who was born in New York, lived in Miami, comes from Jamaican background, automatically makes me think about the first time I moved to New York. I went to NYU, so I moved there in like August, right? And the first holiday is Labor Day.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Which is very active.
Yes.
Which
in
is
New York.
Super active in New York City.
Coming off of the summer, leading into the fall. Yeah.
I get on, for those of you that are not familiar with Labor Day in New York City, there is a big like Labor Day parade that goes through Brooklyn, which is like if I could, and tell me if I'm so wrong, but if I could put it in my own Midwestern view of things, is like a carnival in New York City of just Caribbean cultures.
So like pride.
Absolutely.
You know, just so much pride. And I had no idea. And I hop on the train on Labor Day to like go somewhere. And I just saw flocks of people of color with all these different flags on. And I mean like probably 10 to 15 different countries represented of people of color. And
a little culture shock, huh?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I come from a place where you are either Black, white, or Mexican. Other than that, I'm sorry, and Indian.
Yes, and Indian, yeah.
But like, I got to New York and I was like, I remember getting off the phone and I called my mom. And again, I know this sounds really foreign for some people, but it's not if you're from the Midwest. Mm-hmm. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, all these Black people have flags.
Like, that's ours, right? But we're still American at the end of the day.
Yeah, my family was from the South. My people were slaves.
Yeah.
And our flag is the American flag.
Right.
Pretty much.
That's what I know.
Yes.
I say a Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
I had no connection or ties to my culture. Mm-hmm. And so it's like so interesting to me when I meet Black people from the Caribbean, especially, that are so proud of where they're from, so proud of their country, have these cultures that they're ready to pass on. I just think it's so fucking dope.
Yeah.
Have you?
I agree.
Have you found a dope Jamaican community in Miami? I know the Haitians are strong out here.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
definitely strong.
I feel like for Jamaicans, I feel like there's a really large population in Broward County, which is like just north of Miami. Like Broward County is like Jamaica 2.0. Like it is literally Jamaica.
Okay.
Like anytime there's a party, like my parents on a weekend, like it's usually like the first older Jamaican people, they love like first Friday or first Saturday. It's like they always call parties that. And it's usually the first Friday or first Saturday of the month. And my parents are always in the car. And I'm like, where are y'all going? Oh, we're going to a Jamaican party. I'm like, where? Oh, in Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, duh.
County.
Right.
Why did I ask?
Right. But yeah, Miami still has a pretty large population, especially out west. There's like a lot of like Chinese Jamaicans, like near like Kendall area.
Living here.
Yeah. Like my great grandpa's Chinese.
I learned that.
That
was definitely shocking to me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, ladies, one of these Chinese Jamaicans will take your man. These guys are so pretty.
Yeah,
it is crazy.
Yeah. My great grandpa's from China, so
yeah.
It's crazy. But
They will.
No, they're gorgeous.
What do
Drop
you
dead gorgeous.
mean?
Yeah.
Drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah,
Look
they
at her.
are.
She's sitting looking
They
next to you.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. And strong personalities too.
Yeah, totally. That's dope. All right.
Yeah.
Are you going to raise your children? Do you feel like, look, it's not a question.
I don't want my kids to like not know their culture. And I mean, who's to say I might not? I'm just kidding. No, my boyfriend right now, he's not Jamaican, but
I was gonna ask that.
But he actually has a little flavor. He does have a little flavor. He's African, one of the African countries.
Okay.
You know, West African countries. So
well, get him a 23andMe. You never know what you might find.
Right.
Yeah.
I could
He might have a little what?
Or you could be West African.
I mean, for sure, 100%. I think we're all West African at this point.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, and I think it depends on who you have kids with too. Like, you know, if this ends up being my husband, we have kids, like they'll know both cultures 100%. But like I 100% going to be Jamaican. Like you're Jamaican through and through. I don't care what you're talking about. Jamaican.
Have a little rum.
Oh, 100%. I'm doing all the traditions that I was raised on.
Yeah.
I'm breaking the generational curses, but the good stuff I'm passing on.
Yeah.
The traditional generational.
Yes.
For me, Miami is actually worse than Vegas.
What? The disrespect.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. Let me reframe that. To me, going out in Miami, I turn into more of a shit show than I ever turn into going out in Las Vegas.
See, I don't agree.
Well,
maybe
maybe
because
for
I'm
you.
from there,
Yeah. Like I feel like in Vegas, sure the night keeps rolling or whatever, but like you're in your hotel, you stumble to your room, like you might hit the afties and then like go back to your hotel.
They're both long nights though.
Yeah.
Miami, you eat late and you can stay. The clubs open late, and then there's other places you can go after that.
Right.
You know, we're known for strip clubs here.
Yeah. But in Vegas, it's like maybe you can hit one Spearmint Rhino, and like maybe one other Dre's late. In Miami, you can hit about 6 places.
Yeah, you have
that
options.
don't close until the sun
You have
comes up.
options,
And
for
I'm
sure.
telling you, it gets wild.
Yeah.
So I know you're in a relationship now, sis. And it might have been with him. Let's keep it 100. But I want to know, tell me the last time you had a wild Miami night that lasted until the sun came up.
Definitely with him.
Yeah.
Definitely with him. And it's crazy. I was just going through my pictures, like trying to clean up my phone. And I was like,
that's what you got to do when you get in a relationship.
Well, not even.
Especially the way the iPhone works now. They just be recycling old shit. Like, yo,
A flashback.
Like I literally have 100,000 pictures in my phone. Like that is not okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to, save space. And I feel like my phone's been lagging. I don't know if it's because there's a new phone.
Mine has too.
So I'm like, maybe if I delete like a couple
Mercury
thousand, like
retrograde.
it'll help it. No, it did not
Doesn't.
help. But I was going through pictures and I'm like, when the hell did we go to 11 during the daytime? And I'm like, oh, we left. Because I had a picture of us outside. And I was like, first of all, why did I take this picture of us outside?
Hilarious.
Like we were just out of our mind, just lit. Had the best, like, that's one thing that attracted me to him is that we just have the best time together. Like we just know how to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how to have fun. And it's good,
That's
clean fun. Like he's not
good.
like trying to like go home and do crazy. Like he's literally just like, let's get lit. And then,
You do want to have fun with your partner. You want to
Yes.
have a friendship. You
Yeah.
want to like that person.
Right. And I don't want nobody to make me feel like, oh, like you're not
Judgy.
going out. Right. He's not judgmental at all. Like he's #1 Cassidy fan. Like, you go, girl. Like, do
I
it.
love that. I love that. So if someone was coming to Miami right now and had it
we're a
an
hot spot.
evening, first 3 places you would tell them to go to dinner.
Ooh, right now, because you know it changes.
It does
you
change.
know?
Right now in
It
this
does
little season we're in.
change.
Okay. Maybe right now, I'd say go to Gecko. You know,
Okay.
shout out to Gecko. Shout out to Groot Hospitality. You know, I used to work there a couple
Dope.
years.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Miami
Gecko is
staple.
definitely like popping. It's like one of Bad Bunny's little,
I've heard about this.
it's really dope.
Okay.
Maybe ZZ's. You love ZZ's.
I love ZZ's is one of my top Miami. But the gag is you have to either know a member
Yes,
or be a member.
Is it like New York ZZ's that's next
Absolutely.
to Carbone?
Yeah.
It's major food
Yeah.
group.
Okay,
Same
got
food
it.
group,
Dope.
yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, I don't know.
Maybe something that maybe like is everybody could access.
Okay.
That doesn't have to be exclusive.
Do you like Mila?
I like Mila.
Oh.
I heard they're expanding it.
Yeah,
But,
they are. They're doing like that private club type of vibe now.
I actually so super sleeper and so random. I'm gonna give
I
you
love
a
a
random
sleeper.
spot. Super okay. It's this place called Magdu's.
Okay.
I don't
It's
think I
in
know.
the design. Well, it's like on the border of like Midtown and Design District, like literally like on the border, and it's a Lebanese Haitian restaurant.
Random, but sounds fantastic.
Amazing, because there's like a large population of Lebanese people in
Yes.
Haiti. Same like in Jamaica, we have Lebanese people too, but they have a population in Haiti, and it's so good. Like the food,
We should go.
it was
Yeah, we
so
should
good.
go.
I was every time I go, I'm like, and I honestly
I
forgot
love
about
it.
it till just now, and I kind of want to go. Now.
Yeah.
My
Adds to
mouth
my
is
list.
watering.
Adds
It's
to my
so
list.
so good, so good.
My
My
mouth is
makeup
watering.
artist actually, she put me on
Dope.
because she's Haitian, and she was like, "Girl, we gotta go to Magdu's," and it's really really good.
Magdude.
Dope. Lex, you have a last time question for her?
Yes. I guess since we're all like in this dating space, when was the last time you broke someone's heart?
That's a good question.
Right?
Damn, I really gotta think about that because I feel like I'm not really like a
Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
because what I don't consider heartbreak might not be what they consider heartbreak.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of recently because I had to make some decisions.
Yeah.
Honestly, and just I think maybe like a couple months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could like pinpoint when.
Yeah.
But I think kind of recently. And it wasn't really heartbreak. It's just like, bro, like we can't talk
This is
about
not
it.
working.
It's not
But
working, and it's like
sometimes-
I found somebody like I really, and I just don't even like. And also, like, you got a lot going on, bro. Like,
But
do
also,
you.
it's like some of those relationships are like years with those.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Like
it is.
years of nothing that didn't turn into anything, but
Correct.
you're still connected.
Yeah.
And
You
you
have to
still
shut it
kind of
down.
know that they knew that you really liked them and fucked with them. And then
Yeah.
you have to reveal to them that like someone else actually liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is,
That could be tough.
Yeah.
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 So maybe it's not traumatic heartbreak, but it's
It wasn't
like,
traumatic for me. I'm like, bye. But I can
Good for
see
you.
how, and it's always, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've always like kind of, when it came to stuff like that, I was always like, I put me first because I feel like if it was supposed to happen, like something would have happened already. So
Right.
I found somebody else. Like it is what it is. And also I feel like men, especially a certain type of man, it's like, you'll be fine, bro. You're going to find somebody else. Women are going to throw themselves like, you'll be
I
all right.
literally have so much guilt about that. Like, I feel like I know, you didn't pick me. You out here doing this. But for whatever reason, I feel guilt about like moving on or choosing up or any of those
You
things.
invest in relationships.
Well,
Your
and
whole
people-
everything, mind, body. soul.
Yeah, my whole, if I'm here, I'm here. All right. So, like, you know, you said Jamaican men are like galluses.
What's a gallus?
Gallus.
Gallis?
Gallus. It's just like a player.
I'm
Like
about
just like someone who's just like always just has the gals. Like you're just
Oh,
a gal man.
the
Gallus.
gals.
Gallus. Like you're just
Got
always
it.
having like mad girls all the time. Like it's just
Do they have a female version of that?
like a menace. Yeah, but that's remember that song?
You don't know that song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. She wanna be
And
And
we
we
stood
stood
on
on
the
the back to my crib.
And basically,
and be regretted.
what he says right
And
here.
regret it.
Hey, fake like she asleep. Especially try to stay the whole week.
I'm just a guy. I'm that guy. She put her legs up in the sky whenever I
love
pull
that I'm
up.
sandwiched in between these two musical geniuses over here. Y'all got a nice chorus going on.
One of those type of guys.
Yeah.
But I can't see what she wants. They all
have the same story. They all want me to themselves.
But I'm a
Gallus, this
Gallus.
city is my palace. What I'ma do? Cause I want she and she and she. Right.
I know that
Ah,
So,
you got it now.
Basically,
you got it now.
right.
Thank you.
Right.
So
For that
Tristan Thompson,
education.
Gallus of the Year.
Ba-
right now.
vibes.
Gallus
Future,
of the
you know.
Year. Future.
Yeah. Nah. I feel like Future is genuinely like, not feel like I feel like I met him a couple times. Like, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I just feel like
Yeah, he is.
people be like perpetuating different stereotypes, and it also works for the music. You know, it's good for the image. It's good for the women sign up for it.
Yeah.
So in his eyes, he's like, I'm not doing that wrong. They know what they get into. I'm telling them, like, listen.
I did see
Either
where
get
he
with or get
just
lost.
talked about wanting to settle down eventually.
Yeah.
Well, because
I
you know
saw
Lori
that.
Harvey's single again.
Oh my god.
So I'm sure he does want to figure it
But
out. Anyways,
I don't know. I love
so
Future.
I say
He's
all that
cool.
to say that I actually just recently started seeing a Jamaican man.
Oh.
Born and raised in Jamaica.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Good luck, girl.
Wow.
I know
Born
this- well,
and raised.
This is why I was just gonna ask you maybe for some tips.
I
I
can't speak
was wondering
on
if
it.
there is anything that I could do to maybe. He's honestly like seriously built so different than
Okay.
all of the stereotypes. It's actually
But did
crazy.
he live in America
Good
for a
for
long
you.
time? Like where?
He lived in Jamaica until high school. He
Okay,
met-
so Jamaica, New York pipeline.
yeah.
Okay,
Not
because that's
true.
a,
that's a
there's
different
different.
caveat.
Yeah,
Not
no, no.
definitely a hell no.
No, there are just different types of Jamaican.
'Cause now
Like
you're
it
adding
depends
that
on where they
influence of
immigrate
New
to.
York.
Right, like Jamaican Toronto men are like certain ways. Jamaican New York men are certain ways. Jamaican Miami men are certain ways. Like, you know, but
Just one tip, one
actually, one tip. I mean, maybe start learning how to cook. They be liking that.
I mean, well, I was with
The,
that.
the dishes, the Jamaican dishes. They're easy. They're like shortcuts. Like I'll have my mom send you because she be sending me still.
Yeah, can we share
I got
that?
you. I got you.
I might test it in Lex's kitchen first.
Oh yeah, and
Let's
listen,
do it.
they're utilize your air fryer, bro. They will not even know what's going on. Like I'm telling you, people make
What's one
whole-
dish? Which one dish or
maybe
one
like
staple?
maybe
she
like
should
a
learn?
curry chicken. Like that's I feel
Oh,
like
I know how
all
to make curry
men
chicken.
like
You
like
do?
Jamaican style.
There's-
curry
it's a
chicken.
different-
yeah, different
it's
different curries.
different
Jamaican
curry.
style curry chicken, like a brown stew, like a. I mean, you
Brown
can do the
stew
oxtail. It's
chicken,
just I feel like that's like
oxtail.
expert level.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
to
That's
get it
unlocking the
tender.
level.
Is it
and,
with
you
the
know?
gravy or more tomato based?
It's with a gravy.
It's
It's
gravy.
definitely way
Gravy.
more savory, but the new generation cooks oxtail way different than bro. I literally just had to tell.
Shortcuts.
But it's just a whole different flavor. It's so weird because I just had to tell my parents. I said, "Listen, if somebody bring an oxtail to Thanksgiving this year, tell them it can't be nobody over the age of 40. I promise you, nobody in our family over the age of 40 can cook it this year because I just don't want.
Cook it this
That's
year.
not
That's
the vibe
thing.
that I'm looking for right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's very savory. They like a little bit of gravy and it's very savory. The new Jamaicans, they be cooking. They be like put ketchup in it and like make it like
Yes.
very. It's like a little sweet and tangier. Like it's good though.
Yeah.
And the gravy's thicker. Jamaican people know what I'm talking about. It's definitely a difference. There's different styles. One's like a stew and one's like more like a, you know, but with like butter
braised,
beans.
like a
Right. There's
braised.
like butter beans and this and that dumpling and whatever. But
And before we get out of here,
Mm-hmm.
best Jamaican restaurant in Miami.
Oh.
Not your parents' house because we can't get there.
Miami, Jamaican food is like, okay, you have to go to Broward. Broward
Got it.
got the Jamaican food. Like,
I've heard
it's
that.
almost as if
I've
as
heard
soon
that.
as you cross the border, like in Miramar, it's like this starts to get
Yes,
good. It's like you
Miramar.
cross the street and it's like best
heard
Jamaican
that.
food ever. But I mean, maybe I think it's easy, it's accessible, and it's good, and it's a vibe. I would go to Duckanu. I actually do like the food there. I love the
Okay.
food there. I love the vibes. They always have a DJ. They got bottle service. Like,
Yeah.
they got
You
the
know what?
hookah.
That is good
It's
there.
a vibe, and I've done
yeah,
like
yeah, that
dinners
is
there.
what's up.
I've done like the food is good.
Dope.
So you know what? Yeah, I take
Dope.
that back. There's good Jamaican restaurants, but if you're looking for that like super traditional and like good, Broward County for sure. You just gotta we right here right now. We're North Miami. Broward's like a hop and skip away.
Look, you think I won't pop over there?
Right.
Get a dish,
Right.
heat it up in the oven, and tell them I tried something new. I
Right,
will.
right. But yeah, there's like
Effort.
Dutch pot, Donna's, like those are just, regular places you can go and get, and it's all good. Like I
All
love
right.
Jamaican food here.
Dope.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cass, listen, you're fly.
I appreciate it.
You're just so
You're
dope.
so
Your energy
such
is
a
it. Yeah, you're
vibe.
That's gonna make me cry.
vibe.
Such a vibe.
The director of Vibes. Thank you for directing the vibes here today
Thank
with
you
us.
so
Thank
much for
you.
having me.
Thank you for being honest, transparent, and stopping by, Dear Young Queen.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank you, Cassidy.